The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more, do we go into the breach, dear friends?
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have going on today? Well, a little bit of up and a little bit of down. Got fund buying actually starting today. The way that works is in the charter for an ETF or a fund or any of that stuff, it'll say something like, we will be 100% long the last 2 days to the first 3 days of the trading days of the market. And the reason for it is there's, and bear with me if you've heard this before, there are two kinds of managers in this business. There's money managers and then there's fund managers. Fund managers are supposed to get the most out of their particular fund, whatever it is, oil, gas. So they buy the stocks that they think are going to perform the actual best. That is the fund manager. The other manager is probably putting money to work. Some guy like at CalPERS or one of the other big retirement or investment centers. And he goes, okay, I want to be in, let's say, semiconductors, but I want to hedge my semiconductors. So I got to know that if I buy your fund, that you're going to be 100% invested, so I know how much money I can put on my hedge to make sure that everything works out. And, if anything big happens, like the last couple of months, that I'm taken care of. Well, if they're trying to jimmy with what's going on and they don't tell you, then you can actually put on a great deal more hedge or less hedge than you actually need. So you have fund managers, and then you have the actual, we call them cash managers. So those two people have to work in concert. But what they know is the last 2 days, I'm going to say 85% of funds work this way. Now, some that are based on contracts below, like energy, that don't expire when everything else does, especially commodities, this is a little different. But if you're talking about the semiconductors, they're all public stocks. They all trade on the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ, mostly the NASDAQ. So they have to be it. Anyway, last 2 days of the month, or to the first 3 days of the month. And even if they have to wait till the fourth, it's not uncommon. I've never seen anybody sued for not being fully invested, as long as they got it in, the first couple of trading days of the month. Well, the way the calendar falls, we've got almost all this week in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I was looking for maybe a little bit more money to come in a little earlier than today. Maybe everybody's a little reticent. Maybe they're going to wait for earnings, which do come in today. In fact, we'll look at it here. But even after tonight, or after the bell tonight, we've got Shake Shack, Skyworks Solutions, Chegg, Diamondback Energy, Texas Roadhouse, XPO Logistics, Telnet Healthcare, American International Group, who, yes, is still a company and still in business, EverQuote, Fresh Pet, Five9, Avis Budget Rental Car, see if they're still in business, Sears Logic, Fabrinet Woodwork, Mosaic, Rambus. I mean, there's a lot of these also runs down here. Now we get in tomorrow morning. We're going to get a forecast from Cisco. I got to have a drink here for a second. Of course, they supply, not that Cisco, the other Cisco. This is the one that supplies the restaurants with everything. You got to know they're in trouble. SYY is the symbol on them. But we'll get here in Florida, all the restaurants opened up today at 25% occupancy. Lending Tree, that's in the morning. And I don't know how that's going to go. Wayfair, Carter's, Alaska Air Group, Newbot, got some gold earnings coming out across the next few days. I saw that. Newmont Mining, Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, Marathon Petroleum, Lumentum Holdings, it's kind of a lot of other also rans. I'm going to take these guys out because that's what I want. None of the, well, I did want those. Let's delete that one. Let's go down here. Let's delete that. Anybody in there? Entes Pharma. I don't think a lot of these people I care about. This is the one I couldn't remember last week. We'll get back to this here in a second. When I was saying that some of these companies that look like they were going to run, and I was talking about Six Flags, and that's Travel Centers of America. These are these guys that have those big travel plazas out, 50 miles before you get to the big cities down here in Florida and Georgia and probably all over the country. I just haven't driven over the country in a number of years, but you still see them. They have combination truck stop for everybody else to go to the bathroom, get gas, eat and get gas is what I always remember. Of course, tomorrow night we have got Disney, Beyond Meat, Beyond Edible Meat. What else? A few things. Of course, Disney taking some heat today for putting out that abomination, the last Star Wars movie. I felt like I was being tortured. I can't. And of course, George Lucas, the inventor of Star Wars, wow, he said it was like white slavery or slavery. I can't remember which one he wanted to say. I remember another guy that said it was like getting raped. You try to make a movie based on diversity and you end up with something that's literally unwatchable. Nothing wrong with diversity, but if it excludes actually watching a movie that you may want to actually watch, get a bunch of hack actors. That'll make things go well. Anyway, of course, taking heat for trying to copyright the 4th of May, because the Force may be with you. Anyway, just stupid is as stupid it does. But Disney's evil. All you have to do is live or be around Orlando long enough to know that. We'll be back in a minute. We'll get into some charts and look at some other stuff.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today. TFNN is launching an open house for our Tiger's Den. For a limited time, you can get a 30-day free trial to the Tiger's Den. Just enter promo code OPEN at checkout and pay nothing for 30 days while you try out your Tiger's Den membership as part of our open house. With market volatility at an all-time high and people all over the world working from home if possible, TFNN is hosting an open house in our Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is an interactive chat room that runs all day where other tigers and tigresses discuss trading ideas with the hosts and members, along with charts and current market news, as well as live access to the charts the hosts use during their programs. Join us for the Tiger's Den Open House. Begin your Den membership today by just entering OPEN at checkout and pay nothing while you try things out for 30 days. For all the details and to start your Den membership today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the TFNN Tiger's Den Open House taking place now. Sign up today.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 2000, U.S. government removes selective ability from its global positioning system, improving the accuracy of civilian GPSs from 100 meters to about 20 meters. That's now gone into about, depending if you've got a good system like in an aircraft, even a small one, not that. But I mean, even in a Cessna, you can get to certainly better than 3 meters, and some of the better ones, 1 meter accuracy. And that's if you're C-77 satellites, which is not a problem with you being in an aircraft up high. You know, you get about 5 satellites probably in a car most of the time. That's probably good enough to about 7 feet, maybe 5 feet. Not enough for you to drive, of course, or the car to drive on that data. But good enough. And of course, there's been some ideas that, given some new techniques, the military may have that down to 6 inches. So they can put it right through that window if they wanted to. And of course, you always have to worry about what the government's going to do. And what can you say? Anyway, we got much more accurate GPS on this day in 2000, and it's done nothing but get better. Okay, what else do we have? We want to go on to some charts, and then we'll answer our emails as they come in. First question of the day is Microsoft. Again, I don't see any reason why these guys don't probably go retest 190.18. And I mean, they are the best of breed. They've got the best CEO. They have a company that's probably least affected by any virus issues. And of course, with more people than ever working at home, selling more software. They had Microsoft Teams, which is, I remember when Lotus Notes used to be around, and my CEO kept on pushing me to use it. It was basically unusable, but he'd spent all the money on it, so he wanted to use it anyway. I've really thought like I was in that Catch-22 movie, but it was pretty horrifically bad. Now, this is exactly what that Lotus Notes was in the mid-1990s was supposed to be, but it took about 30 more years to get it right. A lot of ideas are early. Just never keep going along as well. Anyway, they've got the product. It's hard to see anybody competing with them. You got a handful of companies, but they pretty much own business, and every time you turn around, they're doing exactly what they should do to acquire more business. They are not really easily distracted by a lot of other issues. They don't get boiled down into politics very much. In fact, other than Gates blowing wild last week a little while, they've stayed clear of politics for pretty much since they got embroiled in the issues with antitrust back in 2000, 1999, 2000, 2001. But I don't see any reason it's on the top here. If there's a stock that's going to retest its high in the tech sector, I'm thinking that it is Microsoft. Again, is there a lot of volume over here? No. Will it take a little while for them to go? Yes. But looks good. Okay, another question's about Amazon. Of course, Amazon showing a little weakness. What we do know is that Amazon is now going to have to stand before the man. They've been asked or actually Bezos himself has been asked, not told yet, that he has to go in front of the Senate and get questioned about possible lies. But he's guilty. Well, let me put it this way. They are guilty pretty much, and it's pretty easy to see how they use their data to crush all their competitors, and that's a big no-no. But the question is not what's going to happen to them, it's when and how bad. Because if you look through and read the articles about what they actually did to use their data to crush people that had opposing products on their system, you can be one or the other. You can either sell the stuff or you can sell everybody's stuff. But you can't sell everybody's stuff and your stuff and then rip their arm off and beat them with it, which is basically what Amazon's done. A little bit of PR blunt, at least in the tech community, as one of the biggest well-known programmers at Amazon quit on Friday, writing a scathing email, or tome. What is a Unabomber write? A manifesto. That's what I've got to run. If I go really nuts, you'll know it because I'll write a manifesto and call it that. Anyway, wrote a manifesto on Friday about the way Amazon was treating its workers, and said, hey, I can't work anymore. Of course, this is the guy that invented a bunch of technologies that we have now called probably the most famous is XML, which is extensible markup language, some other stuff. So he's not a nobody. He's not just a malcontent out there. So Amazon taking some dings of outrageous fortune. Slings and arrows, as it would be. But I think that's why you're getting, I think it's going to go right back up until the government literally goes after these guys, probably another year now, I suspect, maybe into 2021. But they will get dinged, and the question is how much. But I don't think it affects their earnings. I think everybody will mostly forget about this until next year and after the elections. And then, of course, the government will come after them. No word is if they're going to do the full what was it, General, what was the guy's name? General Flynn on him and try to catch him in a lie and throw him in jail. Man, can you say, are you glad that you're not General Flynn and you have a mountain of people all looking to do anything to put you in jail, whether you did anything or not. Those notes were incredibly chilling as to what those guys were willing to do to possibly get him to say anything. But looks like it's all going to come out in the wash now. But yes, it is scary when the government comes for you and you've done nothing. What else do we have? Okay, that's about it. Amazon. We'll get to the rest of them later. Down now to 9 on the S&P. Maybe the money is going to come in the last 30 minutes here. We should start seeing some fun money coming in a little bit. NASDAQ up 30.
If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're talking a little bit in the den about what's going to happen on with Amazon. They're going to get dinged, but, you know, they didn't break up Microsoft after all the discussion about that. They ended up sticking a officer of the court to make sure they complied with the edict. And they literally had an office sitting right next to all the other the executive suite at Microsoft. And the guy would just stand in the hall and listen to everything they did. And if it sounded a little hinky, he'd get his stick out and start beating on them. So, of course, they didn't really do much until really 2010. So it was interesting, of course. But that is in some ways worse than being broken up, is to have somebody always watching everything you're doing. Because you don't really get hurt in boxing if you're sparring until you start really holding up your punches. And I think that's kind of what it is. But I think that is probably something along that line is probably what's going to happen to Amazon. Big fine. I don't mean like $5 billion. I mean like $30 billion, $50 billion, something like that. Probably a monster fine, and court appointed somebody to sit there and stare down the CEOs. So every time they go back and do something horrible, and there is a litany. I mean, if they go into court with this stuff, Amazon's going to lose. Going back to trying to fix the prices of books on or digital books, and then tried to fix the prices on digital audio books. They've tried to fix the prices on a bunch of products. They've tried to put people out of business by not paying them and then taking over the business themselves. I mean, there is a ton of stuff, and these guys will not look good at the end of any court case. So that's kind of why I call him Citizen Kane, Citizen Bezos. With great, what do they say? With great power comes great responsibility. Well, he's got selective issues with morals and everything else, ethics. So we shall see. There's one way for everybody else, and there's one way for him. And eventually, it'll catch up with him. Okay, so what else do we have? A question about Netflix. I see anything happen here? No, but my guess is if you were going to buy something, and in fun buying, you might look at Netflix here. The one thing you don't want this to do right now is you've had a huge run above the 3x3 displaced moving average going back to the 19th. What you don't want it to do over the next 3 days is close below this line. So you want something about 425 or better for the closes through this week. You get about 3 days into that, and you'll be bad. But you get a sharp down day on Netflix, and it's going back to 370. So, I wouldn't sell it if I had it and still had it. I probably would have sold when it raced up to 449. But if you pulled back to 393, you've ridden it back up to 420, I think you just put a stop back in, starting at about 411, and just moving it up a little bit each day, 415 the next day, and call it 420 for Thursday. So, as long as it continues moving up, no big deal. But you get any kind of sharp pull down, and then that would be something you want to work at. We talked about Disney. Of course, I wasn't a fan of it before everything blew up. I had already said that they didn't have near enough content coming down the line to do anything. Of course, they dropped today. It's hard to see that this thing does very well after earnings tomorrow. But is it gonna crater? Probably not. I think they're opening the parks back up again, not in California, because in California, their governor has decided to burn the entire state to the ground before they open. So I don't think that anything is going to happen out there. They're going to make sure that if you're a real business paying taxes in California, they're going to make sure that there's no way that you can open. But if you're a vendor by the next side of the road selling bananas or everything else, not paying any taxes whatsoever, hey, more power to you. You got a roach coach, drive around, sell food all you like, don't pay any taxes. That's great. You actually contributing to the tax base of the county, state, or local facilities, you're nothing but a target in California right now. Just surprised that there's any business actually left in California right now. Anyway, you're down on Disney. Probably going to open fairly soon. Is it? I don't think it's opening today, but probably opening the parks again this summer, soon enough, and then we'll probably look at other things. But I don't know. Hard to say that everything is rosy. Question is, where are people going to go for vacations this year? We were talking about that with Travel America and all that other stuff, Six Flags. If that's, is it this symbol, this six? I looked at it last year, Six Flags Entertainment. If I was looking at one, I saw that Carnival Cruise Lines actually was going to start cruise operations again August 1st. It's hard for me to think that someone's going to make a commitment like that right off the bat, other than maybe it's like $100 for the week, $200. We've got, I think, 4 or 5 cruise ships that come in here to downtown Tampa. And of course, it's incredibly quiet right now in the air because every Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday into Monday, we had just a mountain of jets flying in here to get people on those cruise ships. Those are all, of course, not flying at all anymore. So it's incredibly quiet. We've gotten to the point now where all the snowbirds have returned to Canada. And so just very, very quiet in the skies down here these days. The only kind of business we ever do is about 2 a.m. in the morning. If I'm up for some reason, I can hear the jets flying all in with cargo. But that's it. They're busy at about 2 a.m. in the morning, and it's just crickets the rest of the day now, where we used to have a lot of air traffic all day and night coming into Tampa. Anyway, Six Flags, this thing's trying to hold up. I'm just thinking that in past events where gas prices rise, they tended to stay away from Six Flags. When you start looking at cheap gas prices, the ability to drive there in one day, and this kind of interests me. I haven't bought it. It does interest me. They're going to want to get and go somewhere. We'll be back in a minute.
If you're in the CD market and looking for a secure investment, the Tiger First Mortgage Program may work for you. The security for these first mortgages are building lots in the tax opportunity zone in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tax Act of 2018 set up tax-free zones across the country where you can build and hold for 10 years and pay no tax on the profits, which makes these lots valuable. The investment is anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000. The interest paid is 7% yearly, paid on a monthly basis. According to Bankrate.com, the best rate for a 4-year CD in the country as of February 20th is 3.1%. A $50,000 investment at a normal 4-year CD rate of 3.1% would give you income of $1,550 per year or $6,200 over the 4-year period. That same $50,000 investment in the Tiger First Mortgage Program would give you $3,500 per year or $14,000 over the 4 years. Which would you prefer, $6,200 or $14,000 of interest on your investment? If you would like more information about the Tiger First Mortgage Program, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com. educating investors.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we're back, and what do we have here? David wants to know what my downside target on MA for this week. I think you're looking at 245. It's hard to think of a business that is going to be more in trouble over the next 6 months. That it bounced at all, I think, is fairly a miracle. But again, how many people are, after 3 months, they don't have their credit card. They're just going to ignore paying the bills on their credit cards, and that will be it. I don't think that anything has dramatically changed since the 2008 debacle, and exactly the same thing happened. It took them 5 years to work through that. Buffett sold the airlines and said so this weekend. And it was kind of weird that he didn't wait for them to fatten up to sell. But his thinking was that I'm just going to find a faster horse, take the cash that I have, and invest somewhere else. These guys all had to, in the airlines, he's basically saying they're all going to be borrowing $10 to $15 billion, and they're going to have to pay it off. There are not going to be any earnings. There isn't going to be the kind of huge upside in the airlines. And I think that you can look at MasterCard and Visa at the same thing. They're going to have to borrow a lot of money. There isn't going to be a lot in there. And it's going to be one of the ones that at best probably goes sideways across the next year. Now, if we get back to the point where a lot of people can pay these bills off, I think that's something else. Now, there's kind of two sides to the coin. That is that, of course, the people on unemployment that probably don't have better jobs and probably not as active in the credit card market, half of these people are making more money than they were at work. Just the way that everything worked out, everything else. It's going to take them a while to actually be poorer. And we're talking about half of everybody that's filed for unemployment. There are other people that have been unemployed that aren't eligible for it or just didn't. But of the ones that did, they are making more money. Half of them are making more money than they did when they were working. Of course, those guys are praying this goes on for forever. But either way, I suspect there are enough people. All it takes is 3 or 4% of people not paying to really sink MasterCard and Visa. And we're probably going to see that for a while, especially those folks that had their own businesses that didn't qualify for a lot of that. Of course, they had a lot more disposable income when things were going good and they had their restaurant running and they had their whatever business running. Now it's problematic for them. I would think that any kind of hitch takes MasterCard back down to that 245 level. I don't know if it gets back down 199, but I wouldn't want to be long it. I'm not a big fan of being short this week, though. So when your question is for MA this week, it can hang out here for a while. I think it's going back to 245 maybe by next week, maybe this week. But I would much rather think that this thing, with everybody being short, that I can even throw and hit with a stick or a stone. I don't. It's hard for me to remember when people have been this bearish. Everybody I talk to, everybody tells me the market's going down, and that generally means that if it's going down, it's going to go down very slowly. So we'll see what the next few days bring. Okay. 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 Question about Micron. This sector. Micron's kind of hard to handicap here. It's back down to about $43. I would love to see it at about $40. If there is a key technology to everything in technology, it is memory. And these guys are, even though Intel makes more, Intel basically consumes it for itself. They're not outselling a lot of memory elsewhere. Micron is kind of the supplier to the rest of the folks. DDR5 memory, which is the memory you find on NVIDIA and AMD graphics cards, is just about non-existent. The factory was hard hit on that one, but the newer DDR, which stands for dual data rate, 6 memory, is all that's actually being produced. I think they make about 40% more margin on that DDR6. That's made it kind of tough for NVIDIA to get a lot of product out. There have been no real sales on NVIDIA until this weekend. And, of course, they're pushing out what they have. They're going to be announcing new video cards here maybe this week. I'll have to look at it again. New video cards this week. So they're pushing out at least some of what they had left. But there isn't much left. And all of it does have DDR6 on it. So when we get back to Micron, that is where they make the huge amounts of money. This is sometimes called video DRAM, and it's different than the kind that's on your motherboard. It's designed to be very fast, but it doesn't have a lot of the same criteria that a computer has to operate in if it's on a video card. Yeah, just kind of going sideways, consolidating out here. You do have this is kind of at the bottom of a trend line going higher. And I think at least you're probably going to find support in this. My guess, though, is by the end of the summer, as video games have been kind of the biggest thing as people hid out for the last 6 weeks, you may see a little lull in summer, but my guess is when winter comes back, the fears of the Walking Dead will come back, and computer games will be big along with the video cards. So it is problematic for, I think, a lot of people. Not problematic. I think it's good for Micron, probably long-term good for NVIDIA, maybe a little short-term hiccup as they go through the new product models. AMD, of course, extremely good in the processor part of this. They don't make memory or anything like that. They do make processors. They do make video cards, but again, their video cards are using the same memory that NVIDIA is using from Micron and others that make this dual data rate 6 stuff. But again, it's the high margin stuff. So all that stuff's good for Micron. The thing with AMD, their video cards have pretty horrible drivers. So any self-aware gamer, if they can at all scrape up 2 cents, is buying an NVIDIA card. AMD, pretty light on the video card. Of course, owning the consumer processor business and just tearing it away from Intel hugely. We'll be back in a minute.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And you had a question also about did I happen to go by Best Buy? I certainly did on Saturday. I kind of had to drive by it. And again, I don't know what Christmas is going to be like if everybody's just buying stuff now, but a kind of an endless procession outside of the line. I didn't go in or order anything. I just drove in the parking lot and watched as 6 cars were all waiting to load something gigantic in the back of their SUVs, televisions, big screens, whatever. A lot of TVs, though, so that continues to look like that's where a lot of money is going. Best Buy did have a sale on Apple iWatches, $100 off over the weekend. I thought that was kind of telling that people aren't really thinking about buying those. But again, it's such a small part of Apple's business. I don't think it matters that much. But those watches really have not really taken off. Maybe with enough iterations, they get it to be something someone truly wants. But I think less than 3% of iPhone users have bought iPhone users have bought iWatches. Just not a big deal, but it does tell you a little something about what people are interested in buying. And if you have to knock $100 off the latest gen iWatch, it tells you probably things aren't going well, or they've got yet another version of the iWatch coming out. They just keep doing that every time. But interesting to watch the ads, because that tells you a great deal about either you should think about new products coming out or products not selling very well. Didn't get to the questions on Western Digital, but we will tomorrow. Kind of a bigger kettle of fish. And the old saying is, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.